Colonized Bodies, Colonized Souls. The Diary of the Immigrant. The book of 7 cheap things made me realize about my life in the Philippines and how capitalism operates in my country. I grew up not knowing the world around me, but I felt it. I sensed the differences between the rich and the poor. All I know that this land is not ours anymore. Not even our bodies, not even our souls. We've been colonized. Our culture, our language, our way of living, and our sense of morality, all owned by the colonizer. Growing up, I sold bags of pickled veggies that my father soaked for 3 days. This is his way of raising me. I sensed that he didn't like his job as a soldier in Korean War. He never mentioned anything till I asked him before he died. As I sold those pickles, I paid attention, walked on flooded streets during rainy days. I said hi to Mrs. Bautista, who owned a nice house in our village. She's my regular customer. I know that she's well off. She lived in the United States for a long time, and her son's name is written in front of her house. Nurses, lawyers, and doctors have those board signs all over my town. Those people who put their names in front of their houses, it's a sign and separation, a symbol. It clearly says we're rich, educated, and you're not. There's a deep separation between the rich and the poor. The rich owned us as we give them all our labor. They compensate us like a slave, pay you so little so you can work again for tomorrow. As I go to my public school, I also notice the kids who are well-dressed, well-fed, well-raised by their wealthy parents. They sure do enjoy their private spaces. There are cheap education for the poor and for the working class. And on the other side of the fence, the wealthy kids are dressed and protected. They have 15 students in every class. We had 30. From my childhood, I still don't understand why the Spanish, the Japanese, and the presence of Americans in our history. I got out of this agony and I tried to search for an answer. I traveled, pumped myself with so much struggles and unnecessary pain. Now that I'm in the US, my colonized body felt all of the shocks. So this is how capitalism works. There is no difference where I came from. The poor and the rich is widely divided. I knew it as I traveled the poor neighborhood of Los Angeles to the dangerous streets of Brooklyn, to the affluent spaces of Manhattan, up to Nanuet, upstate New York, the vast land owned by ranchers in Gainesville, Texas, from east to west coast, Alabama to Colorado. My colonized shocked body felt it all. Capitalism in the Philippines and in the US, the habitus of the people. It created cheap bodies, it created cheap souls.